That is a bad thing which is not the truth. And then you sign. That sentence is not necessary in a resume. That is a bad resume which is saying I'm telling you the truth. Then what does it mean? It means that usually you tell lies, now you are telling the truth. So please don't do such things. And no resume needs your signature. Your name is there at the top. If they want your signature, once you go to the interview room, they will ask you to sign in front of them. Don't sign and send, because your letter is signed. You have to send a covering letter saying that I'm applying for this job, please find my resume enclosed. There you sign, but don't sign on that sheet of paper which is called resume. No saying I'm telling the truth. No need to give also your details of your family. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. My father is a farmer. My mother is a bank officer. Not necessary. Please understand, these are not necessary unless you are applying for a job where your whole family is already in that field working in similar jobs. Then you mention father doing this job, mother do this job, brother this job, sister this job. They will look at it and say, oh, this student comes from a family which is all involved in this. So they'll be happy with your resume. But otherwise, personal details are not to be given. Today, we don't give in our resume our gender. You don't have to say whether you're a boy or a girl or a man or a woman. Not allowed. That is not allowed in your resume. You cannot give your religion. Religion is not allowed in the resume unless they have advertised by saying this job is only open for men, not for women. Then you have to mention that you're a man, you're not a woman. This job is only open for this category of people, of this religion or this caste. Then you have to mention. Otherwise, caste, community, religion, geographic location, I belong to Hyderabad or I belong to Bangalore, not to be mentioned. All these points are not to be mentioned in your resume. Please understand that the resume has to be completely objective. You should not bring your personal thing into the resume. So once you have prepared this one line, check the spellings, check the punctuation, check the correct English vocabulary, grammar, etc. Check it more than 10 times. Give it to all your friends and teachers to check once, because what you might have missed, others might find out. So make a perfect resume. Unless your resume is perfect, it is without any mistakes, you are not going to get the job. If you make a mistake, any of the mistakes, that is a negative point which is given to you. So that is about writing your resume. Now comes your interview. Before we start, let us talk about preparation for the interview. The interview usually is of 2 types. People want to know how much you know about your subject. That is called technical interview. People also want to know who are you? What kind of a person are you? Usually called HR interview or, personal interview and so on. So they want to know your personality development. Many training programs for students. Don't look as though you have learnt it by heart and you are just, reciting whatever you have learnt by heart. Don't do such things. Instead, prepare many times. I always tell students who are preparing for interviews to do practice for 1 year, once a week at least. So that means you will have 52 practice of interviews before you go for the final interview. This is very important, because you can practice with your friends, 2 friends. The interviewer, 1 friend, interviewee, 1 friend. Then you exchange the roles. The friend who was the interview becomes interviewer. Then the other friend who was interviewer till now becomes the candidate. Like that you practice. Or you practice with your teachers. In free time, in extra time, if you have a placement center in your college, they can arrange these programs. You know, what is called as practice of interview. When you practice, you will feel much more comfortable in the final interview. Then they might ask you many questions about your subject. So ask your technical teachers, the teachers who are teaching your specializations, your subjects, your favorite subjects, what questions are asked. I'm sure your college has a question bank also. So look at the question banks, 5 years, 10 years, question banks. You know, this is one way of improving your IQAC rank also. You know, I can tell you hundreds of things how IQAC rank can be improved. I'm just sharing with students today because students have a lot of contribution to making the institution better. It is you students who get a good name to our college. Silicon City College gets a good name because you are good students. Therefore, try to get this kind of self-improvement training. They might ask you questions about, as I told you, have you been a leader? Have you, worked in a team?
Okay, madam, tell me.